Well, hello there, listeners. It is I, Julian Titus, of the Stage Select, this podcast that you're listening to right now. We're still on hiatus, but I thought that one of the things that I would put together for release during said hiatus, I thought it would be fun to take a look back at all of the dumb bits that we ran during the course of the first season and kind of talk about the genesis of their creation and what the thought process was. This is kind of the episode where I break kayfabe and kind of get into the nitty gritty of what this is about. Most of the bits that we did this year were my creations, and people rarely comment on this aspect of the show, but I'm proud of them and I wanted to talk about them. And actually, I guess I should say to kind of kick it off, and I'll talk about this again later in this episode because it's going to come up with some of the bits. But when Justin pitched the new show to me in 2023, he said it should just be like a variety show where we can do whatever we want. And then the word variety show like stuck out to me, and I ended up like kind of taking that probably in a direction in my head that he was not expecting. Because when I hear variety show, I think Ronan Martin's Laugh-In. I think you can't do that on television. I think about a lot of the variety shows that you would see in the 60s, like Sonny and Cher and stuff like that, where it was just like a bunch of random shit that the writers would kind of concoct and kind of throw at the wall and see what would stick. I was also thinking of Mel Brooks describing the writer's room for the show of shows that he worked on like really early in his career and kind of the thought process for that. So I was thinking like, oh yeah, we'll have like these characters and we'll have these sketches and we'll have these commercials and just like all sorts of wacky hijinks like in every episode. And that's going to be a lot of fun. And I kind of expected Justin to kind of contribute more to it, and that so far hasn't been much the case. I will say also to part of the I kind of come up with these and then I just kind of do them, so there aren't very many where it's been like both of us working on them, and I think I want to try to fix that next year. And really a lot of these are just like things that kind of pop into my head. I actually have like an ongoing note in my phone when I come up with an idea, and sometimes they're the loosest of premises. I mean, I don't expect these to be, obviously even this year, it's not like we had stuff running every single episode, and we'll probably just keep them going until I start to run out of ideas, and then they'll be like far more sporadic. But I still want this to be a thing for the show in perpetuity. And I want to definitely have more stuff where it's me and Justin doing them together, or I write something for Justin to do either as himself or as a character, be it someone that we've already seen on the show or just like some silly voice that he does just for that one-off. But I'm not going to do every single bit that we ran because like some of them are kind of redundant, but I did want to like at least highlight one of everything that we did because sometimes there are multiples. And so I thought I would kick things off with, I think this is the first one that I actually made for the show. I don't think it's the first thing that aired, and I'm not going to be I'm not going to be highlighting these in this special in the order of appearance. It's really just going to be kind of as I come across them. But Lupine Law was the first thing that I remember making, or at least the first idea I remember jotting down. I think it is the first idea that I jotted down. I think it's the first thing it is the first thing in my notes. Now that I think about it, because I see it every time that I open the document. Part of it is that I kind of like the idea of the show being like it's really hazy about when the show is set. Obviously, like the theme song and show logo is very much 60s mod inspired, but then like some of the commercials are very like 70s or 80s inspired, but then other stuff is clearly from the 90s, and then other stuff is very modern. And I kind of try to reflect that also in the editing of different commercials. So Lupine Law was definitely like supposed to be like a mid 80s / early 90s like syndicated show that would come on at like 9 p.m. and with like a detective, like your typical detective show, but with like a supernatural bent, which sounds more like a modern show, but there was definitely plenty of that, like in the 80s and 90s. And I think part of the inspiration was probably like a gag in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. There's a show that Sarah Marshall gets, and they run the trailer for it like at the end of the movie. That's some dumb like supernatural thing. I think she's supposed to be a doctor, but like a veterinarian or something. But there's like some sort of werewolf involved or something weird like that. I really liked the learning how to make it sound like an old TV spot. And I was thinking a friend of the show, John Gholson, when I came up with the name for the werewolf detective, Lorne Chaney, which is a kind of a spoof of Lon Chaney's name, the actor who played the werewolf in the old Universal Studios werewolf movie. So that's what this is.
Lorne Chaney is a hot-headed rookie detective. You have the right to my boot up your ass. Pamela Starling does it by the book and hates dogs.
If there's one thing I hate, it's dogs.
Now, this unlikely pair are partners on the mean streets of Hoboken. But Lorne has a dark secret. He's a werewolf. Lupine Law. Fridays at 9. Check your holistics.
And I'll go ahead and run this next one really early in the show. This next bit comes to us from Mike Fallick, and this was actually done. So one of the inspirations for the stage select was actually an episode of Nerds Without Pants that we did really late in the run, where we did we basically turned the show into like a radio show for an episode. And we did all of these like radio show bits, and like we had like fake DJs that were coming in and talking in between segments, and we had commercials, and we had like all sorts of weird stuff. And it was a really fun show to do, and we were going to do another one, but we never got around to it. But I had asked Mike to bring us something. Oh, no. Wait, no, that's not what this was for. No, I take that back. No, so I had asked him to do something for the next episode, and he actually gave me two things. But this was the first one, and this was actually also a thing that he had run on his actual radio show and podcast. And it's based on an idea that Justin just had as like a one-off. Like, I don't think we even really went anywhere on Nerds Without Pants. It was just Justin thinking about like someone singing Let's Call the Whole Thing Off, the classic Hollywood song, but not understanding the tonality of it, that it's supposed to be tomato, tomato, potato, potato, and just saying it the same way every time. And I really loved that. And Mike ended up doing that with his co-host. And he gave it to me for that next radio show that we never actually aired. And this actually did air in the first episode of the Stage Select, because even though it's a very long bit, tonally, it was very much what I was hoping for in the Stage Select. And I really wanted it to be in the first episode to kind of prepare people for the shenanigans to come. And I think Mike is just hilarious. And I mean, Mike is just hilarious in general, but he took Justin's just one-off like gag and really like ran with it. And it's so vintage. It's such a great approximation of like a Rat Packer doing this bit, and I just love it so much.
Mikey, baby, you're hot right now. You are really popular right now with the audience out there, and we have a great idea for you. Yeah. You, because you are popular and we want to get you even to more people, you need to do a cover of the song Tomato Tomato.
Got it. I know the song, Billy Boy. All right. You press record, and here I go. A one, a two, a shoodly-doo. You say tomato, I say tomato. You say tomato, I say tomato.
All right, cut. Wait, I think there seems to be
Billy Boy? You got your knobs all mixed up there.
There's a little bit of a miscommunication.
I'm smoking 92 cigarettes at once.
So I'm trying to push away some of the smoke. No, so it's tomato, tomato.
Oh.
Tomato, tomato.
Oh, I get. That's the whole thing of the song. Here I go. Count me in, Billy Boy. Won't happen again. A one, a two, a skittily. Do you say tomato? I say tomato. Tomato. Tomato.
Right,
Why are you saying it different than me?
No.
What?
All right. So the first word.
Yes, tomato.
Tomato. Second word. Tomato.
Tomato. That's what I said.
Tomato.
Tomato.
We're not saying the same thing.
Yes, we are. Hop.
No.
A chew. A doodle.
No. God, yeah, Billy, stop. All right. No. First word.
Yeah.
First word is tomato.
Okay.
Second word is similar, but not entirely the same. It's tomato.
Okay. That's what I'm saying.
A different pronunciation.
Is there a problem? I feel like
tomato.
we're just talking about the song.
I need you to say
over how much we love this song. Where we are saying tomato a million times. That's what people love about it. Oh, the next verse is even better. They just say potato over and over again.
We're not talking about potatoes here. We're talking about tomatoes and tomatoes.
You don't know the song. That's the second verse. Let me do it for you. Hop, a chew, a diddly-do. You say potato, I say potato. You say potato, everyone potato. Potato,
all right.
What
so
is the song about?
We're having a similar issue. I don't think we need to get to this verse.
Don't you stim me.
If you can't figure out the first verse, there's no point going to the second verse.
Let's focus on it. What's the problem?
So again, it's the pronunciation. You got the first part down pretty much 100%.
You know what it is? I sing with a lot of Italian guys. Maybe I'm saying it the way they say it. From the native country
I know
of
a lot of the same guys. And
they eat a lot of tomatoes there. Comes from China, the tomato. Historical inaccuracy. Okay, here we go. A one, a two, a doodly-doo. You say tomato, I say tomato. You say tomato, I say tomato. What's up? Billy Boy, we're doing great here.
We've achieved an interesting situation here. Now you seem to finally understand the other half of the problem from before.
Bill, you're really starting to push my buttons.
Well,
tomato. You say the first one. All right. Listen, I just need another 94 cigarettes. I'm hot.
This is my studio. I push the buttons. You do the singing. My buttons, your voice. Got it? Got it?
Explain it to me quick.
All right, cool. So, tomato, that was the part that I needed you to, that was the part you're doing great.
And the next one is tomato.
Now somehow, finally, that has gotten through to you, and you're saying tomato. But
I'm
you need
not
to say
hearing a difference.
Both.
To me,
you need to say both.
To me, tomato and tomato, am I doing it right? They sound the same. It might as well be like there should be an expression. Tomato, tomato, it's all the same to me, so I don't know whether I'm singing it correctly.
That is part of the heart of the song, yeah.
Well, it's still true. Let me try again. One, a two. You say potato, I say potato. You say potato, I say potato. Potato, 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 potato.
Okay, and then this next one, this was like the first idea that I had for something that me and Justin could do together. And the spot is for Matt's materials. And it was literally just I think I might have had like a little bit of an inspiration from home movies for this bit. Because it's a very home movies type of thing to do. And the whole genesis of it was like I loved the idea of like two guys with their first and last names being able to be abbreviated to Matt. And then they also run an item shop that sells material, like crafting materials. So they sell mats. Like, I just thought that was really funny. And so the stuff that they're listing off in this commercial are actually crafting materials from Final Fantasy XIV. And then Limsa Lominsa is one of the main cities in A Realm Reborn. So that's kind of where that came from. And another big inspiration for this spot was the I'm forgetting their names, but the brothers in Alan Wake 2, they have, all these different ads that they run throughout the course of the game. And one of the brothers is like super energetic, and the other brother just could not be bothered. And I knew Justin would just kind of naturally do that anyway because he's Justin. But I also told him to kind of play it up, and I think it worked out. It came out exactly how I was hoping it would. Hi, I'm Matthew Matson.
And I'm Matt Matthews.
And we're the owners of Matt and Matt's Materials.
Come to us for all your crafting material needs.
We have fish oil,
bronze ingots,
maple branches,
little pieces of string,
animal glue. Remember, if you need materials, you need Matt's. Visit Matt and Matt's Materials in the Market District of Limsa Lobinsa. And then this next bit, this is pretty self-explanatory. It's the Save the Billionaires ad. It's really just a spoof of, Save the Children or any of those, trying to get donations for a cause, like Sarah McLachlan with the animals. Not that those aren't good causes and such, but I felt that in this current age where the billionaires are increasing and at an exponential rate, I just kind of thought it was funny to the idea was like, yeah, they just need the number to go up, and you need to help them make the number go up because it's the only thing that gives them joy. And they've done so much for you, haven't they? So that was literally just that's it for this one. But I like it. Ned Bortley will return.
Every day, billionaires are suffering. They've worked so hard to become the leaders of society, and with the help of rich relatives and inheritance, but it brings them no joy. Hi, I'm Ned Bortley, and I represent Save the Billionaires. For as little as $1 a day, you can help to put a smile on the face of a billionaire by ensuring that their value continues to increase. Because billionaires aren't like us. It's not about having money. It's about having an ever-increasing net worth. Billionaires do so much for you. Won't you do something for them?
Okay, next I'm gonna run a block, but I will break in for part of it. This is the saga of Gary and Larry's llamas. This was also one of the first ideas that I had. I don't know what the impetus was for this dumb thing. I mean, I definitely a big thing, because a lot of my influence for like just across the board was UHF, because it's my favorite movie of all time. And I want to say that, this is kind of an homage to Crazy Larry's discount cars, where he'll club a seal to get a better deal. Like, there's part of that in there. There's a little bit of Cy Greenbloom, owner of Spatula City, in here, like just a little bit. And then as it evolved, like I started to like the idea of Gary and Larry being sort of like Mario and Luigi, in the sense that like one is like super gregarious and outgoing and kind of like the leader, and then the other one, I envision Larry as very much as being like the Luigi to the Mario, like kind of tall and skinny and unassuming and, much more timid than Gary, but also being a stud in bed. That's how he gets Gary's wife. And it's just like, the idea wasn't to have like Larry steal Gary's wife. That just kind of came to me as like a reason for the brothers to have split up from the family business and strike out on their own. And then it just kind of evolved from there. So I think these are the first two commercials, and then I'll come back with the next bit.
Hey y'all, I'm Gary Grub Thumper, formerly of Gary and Larry's Premium Alpaca Outlet. Come on down to Gary's Discount Llamas. We got tall llamas. We got short llamas. We've even got teacup llamas that go great in a stylish handbag. Remember, at Gary's Discount Llamas, you're family. And don't shop at my brother Larry's place. His llamas have scurvy.
Hi, I'm Larry Grub Thumper from Larry's Premium Alpaca Outlet. Come to us for all of your alpaca and llama needs. You won't find a better selection or better prices. And don't listen to my brother Gary's lies. He's just mad that his wife left him to be with me. My alpacas are 87% scurvy free. Don't forget, when you need an alpaca, call Larry.
So we had Gary's commercial, and then we had Larry's rebuttal. And then things had to escalate. And this was actually a separate idea, but then it made it perfect sense for Gary and Larry to be involved in this other separate idea. And this, I remember this was one of those things that came to me at night. I had already like laid down to go to bed. My glasses were off, lights were out. And then the thought of the People's Champions Court, like that just popped in my head. And I immediately got up and like added it to my phone's notes so I wouldn't forget it. Because the idea of Attitude Era Rock presiding over a televised like courtroom show was just very funny to me. And I knew that I wanted friend of the show John Gholson to do it because I'm not great at impersonations, but he is. Even though he wasn't too happy with his rock. And I didn't have a script for him because he's done a lot of improv, and I just kind of told him the gist of it, but he didn't really have much to play off of. So he kind of just recorded a bunch of sound bits for me. And then I kind of worked around that to make the actual bit. But it was his idea to bring in like Mankind as the like bailiff and kind of a interviewer, and then Stone Cold as one of the lawyers, which, I mean, that worked out just so perfectly. Like if you watched 90s WWF, you can almost envision this the way that it plays out. Like you can picture it in your head. And I also liked that it was the continuation of the Gary and Larry saga. It's the People's Champions Court. The only daytime court drama starring the People's Champion, The Rock. Today, these two alpaca-selling brothers are at each other's throats. Will The Rock decide on the plaintiff or the defense? And now, we turn things over to our bailiff, Mankind.
Will the courtroom please rise for the Honorable Judge, The Rock?
Finally, The Rock has come back to the courthouse! Counsel, you may call your first witness.
Hi, I'm Gary Grub Thumper. I'm here asking for restitution from my brother Larry for defamation of character. Also, he stole my wife. I just want to sell my alpacas in peace. My name is Larry Grub Thumper. I didn't steal my brother's wife. She chose me of her own volition. I love her very much. I love my brother very much, too. I just want to sell my alpacas. He likes the llamas.
The Rock heard a rumor that you've been tasting another man's pie.
Your Honor.
Objection, Your Honor. Don't make me come over there and stomp a mud hole on you. The Rock says overruled.
Well, yes, Your Honor.
You come to The Rock's courtroom, you come up to The Rock and you tell The Rock, oh, my wife, oh, sir, my llamas and my wife. Let me tell you something about your llamas and your wife. It doesn't matter about your llama and your wife.
Now I'm behind the scene with the llama farmers as we await The Rock's judgment.
Look, I love my brother, but I love my wife, too. And I love alpacas. It's really hard to choose. Don't make me choose. We had fun selling the llamas and the alpacas. And now, The Rock's ruling.
The Rock finds in favor of the defendant. The Rock's judgment is that you pay your brother millions and millions of dollars. If you smell what The Rock is ruling.
That's it for this edition of the People's Champions Court. See you next time.
The Rock would like to break for lunch. The Rock is going to have pie. You're going to have strudel.
And yeah, and then just closing out this bit with the brothers are reunited and they've buried the hatchet, and little shout out to ethical non-monogamy. It's a thing. I support it. I support polyamory. So there you go. Like you polyams out there, There's probably a couple of you in the audience. This one's for you.
Hi, y'all. I'm Gary Grub Thumper.
And I'm Larry Grub Thumper.
And we run Gary and Larry's Premium Alpaca Outlet.
After the legally binding judgment from The Rock, we reconciled our differences.
That's right, Larry. And we're passing the savings on to you. Come on down and check out our amazing selection of llamas and alpacas.
We both love the same woman. It's not weird.
I don't think they need to know that, Larry.
We're in an ethical, non-monogamous relationship, and there's nothing to be ashamed of.
Yep, that's true. Anyway, come on down to Gary and Larry's Premium Alpaca Outlet.
Share the love.
And now this next one, this is probably my favorite thing that I did all year. And nobody commented on it, other than my friend Blissy. She really loved it. But nobody said shit about it. I think it's hilarious. Because I was thinking about movie trailers, but I specifically wanted to come up with the idea for a movie, like a movie sequel that had no business ever being created. And I was like, what is a like really needless movie sequel that should not be greenlit? And I immediately thought of They Live, because Roddy Piper's character at the end of They Live dies. Like, I think it's one of the coolest things about that movie. But also Roddy Piper has since passed away. And so the idea of like making a sequel to this movie that brings back both Roddy Piper's character and Roddy Piper through AI was just very funny to me. And I think it also just like kind of speaks to a certain cynicism around movies these days. And it was actually really difficult to find a text-to-speech program that was the right level of shitty, because I wanted it to be extremely obvious that it's just like a soulless like machine doing Roddy Piper's lines. And it took a while to find that, because everything that I was finding sounded way too good. Because this technology has evolved so much over the last couple of years. But I did find the thing that I was looking for, and I learned how to make it sound like really old, like Grindhouse level movie trailer. I went through and was watching like the original trailer and clips from They Live to get some of the iconic lines, because my whole thing was like, it's just going to be the same dialogue, but with again added to the end, because the name of the movie is They Live Again. And I think one of my favorite bits writing wise is John Carpenter saying that he, do whatever you want, just leave my name off of it. And then at the very end, it says John Carpenter's They Live Again. Because of course it would be, right? Like they don't, they don't give a fuck. Like they're just going to do whatever. But I really love this one. I love how this one came out. I've gone back and listened to it just like sometimes when I need a smile, because I really am proud of how it came out.
You thought Roddy Piper's character died at the end of They Live. You thought Roddy Piper died. You thought wrong.
I don't like this one bit. Again.
With the magic of AI and the creative bankruptcy of the movie industry, they're back.
I need you to put on the glasses. Again.
See the sequel that no one saw coming. The Washington Post says, who is this even for?
Look around you. They're everywhere. Again.
The ghost of Roger Ebert says, it's a soulless cash grab, but I had fun. John Carpenter says, do whatever the fuck you want. Just keep my name off of it and let me play my video games.
I am here to chew bubble gum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubble gum. Again.
See John Carpenter's They Live Again.
And then probably my other, like, the one that I'm probably almost as proud of as They Live Again is my trailer for Duke Nukem versus Middle Age, for a couple reasons. One, I think I did a surprisingly good job of emulating not only John St. John's Duke Nukem, especially at the very beginning of the trailer, but also like kind of making it sound compressed and shitty like it did in Duke Nukem 3D. Like, if you aren't paying close attention, I think it almost sounds like I just took audio from the game for the beginning, which I really like. And this is also kind of piggybacking off of an idea that I had for like a new Duke Nukem video game, because I always keep thinking that, like, if you brought Duke Nukem back, like, what would you do with him? And I always think about, like, what if he was like a washed up actor, like almost like The Rock, right? Like, if The Rock was washed up, like if his career had just like gone down the tubes and then like years passed, but he still has this swagger and he still, you know, thinks he's the shit, but like life has passed him by, almost like an Austin Powers thing now that I think about it. And then like aliens actually attack, and because he had like experience making action movies, and I think there's also a little bit of Bruce Campbell versus Evil, or is that the name of the movie? It's like a movie that Bruce Campbell did where like things that would have happened in Evil Dead like occur, but it's just Bruce Campbell that answers the call because he's just an actor. That kind of that thing. But, you know, extrapolating that into the actual video game character and being like, yeah, like what if he had to deal with you know, middle-aged problems, and also kind of just a little dig at the way that you can tell that like the people who are making video games are getting older, and there's no one younger replacing them, and so the stories are getting increasingly sad because it's all about like getting old and having kids and, you know, dealing with your own mortality and stuff like that. And I thought that would be really funny for Duke Nukem to deal with.
Take it, baby.
Duke Nukem was the edgiest, most kick-ass video game character of the 90s.
Those alien bastards are gonna pay for shooting up my ride.
But video game developers and their audiences are getting older. It's time for Duke Nukem to enter the modern era. Doc, I'm worried about my prostate. See Duke Nukem as you've never seen him before. Walking slowly in third person with the camera jammed so close, you'll never see him from the waist down. Sheila, baby, please, he's my son, for Christ's sake. Fuck you, Duke. He doesn't want you in his life. Enjoy the side of Duke you never saw before. His emotional side. I'm just feeling a lot of emotions right now, and I haven't had a full erection in months. Oh, God. Duke Nukem versus Middle Age. Coming soon to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC this fall.
Okay, let's kick things back over to Mike Fallick. This was another bit that he created for that radio episode of Nerds Without Pants that never aired. That when I originally aired this on the Stage Select, I split it into two pieces. And he seemed a little bit bent out of shape about that. And I'm going to run the whole thing here. I don't know what he actually titled this. I call it NPR Vampires. I think this is really genius. I think this is something that Mel Brooks would have like come up with like early on in his writing days. It just feels like that type of comedy. And I think it's incredible. And I think his sound design and editing on it, like I didn't do anything to this. This is all how Mike gave it to me. But I think it's just brilliant. And so here in its entirety, from beginning to end, is NPR Vampires.
Hello, I'm Sydney Fluvenhammer, and I'm here at my local pizza shop for NPR, doing a story about how pizza makes us feel. Now, these little triangles have a way of just getting into our hearts, but so do the people who run them. This pizza shop is no fancy eatery. It's just a pizza shop run by a man and his wife, wholesome, hitting to the core of Americana. Is pizza the new roadside craft?
Oh no! Hey, Jezebel! We got another NPR host writing about our quaint American life. Oh, God, get out of here! Get out of here! Isabella!
Oh, Marco, what is it? Oh, NPR host.
We moved from Italy, no NPR. They're everywhere, talking about my quaint American life, I know. This guy here, on and on about how pizza's so great. I'm just trying to sell him a cheesy bread.
Their passion for their work is like the passion of the American generation.
I'm gonna hit him with this wine bottle. Haja! Okay, listen to me. Oh, Marco, why you have to kill another NPR host? Listen, I didn't kill him. Isabella, mi muore. I think that's Italian. It's Italian. Listen to me. We're gonna take him to the basement with the others. Oh, why? Who knew have a pizza shop? It's so difficult to keep NPR hosts away from calling my life a quaint. Not quaint, I'm just a human. Stop it right. Write a think piece, I know. All a think piece. Just eat the fucking pizza. Listen to me. It's time. No, I can't, Marco. I know you crave the blood just like I do. Ooh, how could we have inherited such a curse? It's weird. Our vampire curse, which causes us to crave the blood of pretentious, publicly funded radio hosts. It's a weird vampirism. Oh, in Italy we don't have this. We might. I didn't look up Italy, and when I lived there, I was really stupid. You live there, the guy doing the voice, it doesn't matter. Listen, will you crave it the blood just as much as I do? Come on, let's take this one to the basement. I can't. I know, I see the bloodlust in your eyes. Oh, it's true. It's true, Marco. The way Ira Glass sit down there. I want to eat his brains. Is that what we do with our vampire? I just want to eat NPR hosts. Here, drag this body with me. Oh, this one will be juicy. We have to let them starve. They sit down there. It's haunting. I can't take it. To go into the catacombs of our pizza business where we keep chained up NPR hosts that we must eat because of our Italian curse to be a weird type of werewolf vampire that must eat the blood of publicly funded radio hosts. Oh, they talk to each other, doing little narratives and news stories about their parts of their cage. I can't take it anymore. Here, let me open the basement. Oh, look how close my Ira Glass is to a microphone. I can't resist anymore. Yes, feed. I'm going to over here and eat the news and weather guy. Why they have one of those for NPR? They still read the time. No, their bread is so juicy.
And, let's see, I'm going to put another block in here. I'm going to knock some of these out real quick without a lot of preamble. I hate podcast ads. I hate ads in podcasts, which is, part of the reason why I make these spoofs. But there's if you listen to a lot of podcasts, there's a certain number of advertisers that you just hear a lot of. And I wanted to lampoon them. So I did a spoof of BetterHelp. I did a spoof of NordVPN. I did a spoof of Mint Mobile because there was a while there. There was like 3 weeks there where every podcast I was listening to, I heard Ryan Reynolds hawking Mint Mobile, and it was really getting on my nerves. Let's see. What else did I do? I'm gonna scroll through here real quick. And so then I have my ad for Pronto Paste because my idea was that you've got DoorDash, you've got HelloFresh, but what's something for people that are even lazier than that? And I was like, yeah, it's just a paste that you slam in your mouth and fuck you. So that's one of them. And then I think the last one is Cons, which obviously is a spoof of Raycons. And yeah, so I'm just gonna knock through these one after another. They're not. I don't think they're all great, but I think you see what I was going for here, and I'll holler at you on the other side.
Hi, I'm Julian Titus, host of the Emmy Award-winning variety show The Stage Select. We live in unprecedented times. It can be difficult to find the right person to talk to, or even find the time to do so. And even then, who can afford top-tier therapy? That's why I use Mediocre Assistants. Their 24/7 web app can connect you to semi-qualified, almost professionals that can provide you with the kind of platitudes that might make you feel a little bit better about the imminent collapse of modern society. Remember, when you're feeling overwhelmed and you don't have the money or time to seek out the kind of lasting care that everyone should have access to, think of Mediocre Assistants. Sure, there's BetterHelp out there, but who can afford that?
Are you interested in visiting the dark web, but you're computer illiterate and don't know what you're doing? You need Midnight VPN, the only VPN that will allow you to access everything the dark web has to offer. Order a hit on your enemy. Find a good recipe for human meat. Overthrow a government. You can also stream content from Netflix that's outside your region. Get Midnight VPN. What's a VPN? Don't fucking worry about that.
Hi, Brian Bradley here. But you know me already. I'm a handsome, charismatic actor who you can't escape from no matter how hard you try. I'm rich, have a hot wife, and these qualities make me the perfect person to run a mobile phone company. That's why I started Parsley Phones. Is it better than your current carrier? Sure. Is it more affordable? Yes, for 3 months. Is this a scam? Listen, I'm very handsome. Parsley Phones. You can use it to call people. Do you love listening to audiobooks but find yourself tuning out or even falling asleep? It can be annoying. And if you're driving overnight, it can even be deadly. What you need is Loudable, the dynamic audiobook app that delivers your favorite books read to you by the loudest people imaginable. Listen to this excerpt of Curse of the Cobb Man from award-winning horror author Rob O'Tone, as read to you by the ghost of Sam Kinison. It exhaled loudly! Its breath like moist farmland! Charlie waited to feel those gnarled, jagged teeth tear into her, but instead, she felt a lurch. The tightness around her ankle suddenly gave way, and she plummeted, screaming towards the forest floor. Ah! I work overnight in a morgue, and Loudable keeps me as stiff as the corpses all around me, says Pete Blandley of Hoboken, New Jersey. It's better than taking West Coast turnarounds, says long-haul trucker Morton Blandley, no relation. Loudable, because sometimes audiobooks are boring.
Cooking is hard, and getting food delivered is expensive and slow. But meal kits are hard, expensive, and slow. What you need is Pronto Paste. For a low monthly subscription, you can have specially formulated food paste delivered to your door. It's packed with nutrients and protein, everything the body needs to continue to live. Act fast and choose from flavors such as almost meat, seems like spinach, and apple crisp. Pronto Paste. You won't enjoy eating anymore, but at least your stomach will be full.
What's up, bro? Are you tired of having to recharge your earbuds when you're in the middle of some gnarly playlist, getting into the latest Bo Jorgen podcast, or jacking it to some sick hentai? You should get ConCons. They're the first disposable earbuds that you never have to charge. Why? Because you just throw them out when they're out of juice. What? Are you worried about the environment? Fuck it. We're already like 50% microplastics. Just burn it all down, bro. ConCons. Convenience is the most important thing. Okay, and now, let's see. I have stuff from Justin. And these are actually repurposed from that radio episode of Nerds Without Pants that we did air. But I thought they were too excellent to not run on the Stage Select. And also, it provided a lot of things. One, it allowed me to put bits into the show that had already been done previously that were new for Stage Select, but didn't really require any extra work on my part. So I was able to run those for a couple of weeks, which was great. But also, you got to hear Justin's voice in those bits where instead of just mine, which I think is a big, that's a big thing. First off is going to be the saga Billy Hug Babies and Mitchell Mann which is done in 3 acts, and I think it's brilliant. Justin did, political ads, competing political ads, then culminates in a news broadcast that he did again on that original show, which is why it's called NWP News. But I think it's a really great coda to the first 2 parts. So here I present to you in 3 acts the saga of Billy Hug Babies and Mitchell Mann, who you may also recognize as a player in video game Masterpiece Theater.
This election, every vote matters, even the votes of people with tomato gardens. Billy Hug Babies loves tomatoes and eats a tomato slice on his ham sandwich for lunch every day. Mitchell Mann hates tomatoes and told us he'd fight us on the streets if we asked him about tomatoes again. Billy Hug Babies saved a tomato from a burning church. Mitchell Mann lit a salad on fire. This election, the choice is clear. Mitchell Mann, too good for tomatoes, too good for office. Paid for by the campaign to elect Billy Hug Babies. Oh yeah, this is Mitchell Mann and I'm running for office in this great state of ours. Recently you may have heard my opponent mention my dislike for tomatoes, and I'm here to set the record straight. Oh yeah. You see, not only is my opponent a hot dog, a grandstand, and a prima donna, he's a liar too, and if I see him on the streets, I'm gonna fight him with my legs. Oh yeah. You see, Mitchell Mann will not stand for this kind of slander. Oh no, and if I ever set a net with salad on fire, I don't remember it. Do you understand me? If you don't vote for me this election, we are going to have a problem. And I am not a man you want to have a problem with. Oh no. So this election, you better make the right decision or I'll be coming for you in the Silver Dome. Oh yeah. Paid for by the campaign to elect Mitchell Mann for office. NWP News Now, I'm John Bivens. A politician kicked his opponent to death today in an altercation that stemmed from an ad campaign accusing the attacker of being anti-tomato. Kyle Carboy has more. I mean, yeah, he just screamed, "I'll fight you with my legs," and kicked the guy to death. Thank you, Kyle. A Nebraska school teacher has been accused of not believing in corn, leaving the state officials baffled. When NWP News asked the governor of Nebraska about the story, he replied, I don't get it. Our entire state is basically made out of this stuff. And finally, a Seattle resident found $5 on the ground outside a local coffee shop. He celebrated with his wife and 2 children by burning the coffee shop to the ground. For NWP News, I'm John Bivens.
Okay, and then I'm going to break that up with the only real sketch that we did on the show this year. I want to do more stuff like this, but 1, I need ideas. I need to come up with an idea, and 2, need to set aside time to do it. This was actually recorded before we recorded episode 4, that same night that Mike Fallick was on, and then I edited it and released it at a later date. But basically the thing that's great, Justin thinks he's bad at improv, and Mike likes to make fun of improv, but they're both actually really excellent at it. And I said, basically the idea is that we're playing D&D and the bard has been dead for the whole battle and he's really pissed about it. That was basically all that I gave them. And then we kind of just went from there, and I think it came out really well. And, it's definitely one of the things that I went pretty extra on with sound effects and music and stuff like that. But this is the sketch that I called Angry Bard.
Take that!
Ooh.
Ha! Another enemy felled.
Okay.
Andor, would you mind raising our good friend the Bard there? He's been out of it for a bit.
Do I?
Have I?
Okay, yeah, I guess.
God damn it, Mike.
I guess I can do it. How do I do that again? I'm new to this. I don't know how this goes. Do I have to use a spell slot for that? Is that a thing?
I mean, I think so. I just swing the swords, man.
All right,
you're the cleric.
All right. Why did you make me the cleric? I don't know how to play this. All right. Who's the dungeon master? Are they around? How do I do this?
Guys, is this real? Come on.
Okay, all right, I'm trying. Listen, this.
Okay, and I am risen.
All right.
Happy Easter.
Well,
is this real? Who cares?
Well, I didn't do it.
Guys, there's make believe, and then there's my Friday night.
I mean, yeah, that's. Oh, well.
I have been dead for 3 episodes of Grey's Anatomy. You're saying we're not watching Grey's Anatomy. Some asshole across the street is. That's what I've been doing, is watching it through his. I want to play. What was that?
I mean,
what was that?
I don't know.
I mean,
did you just get angry at me, Julian or Karnov, because I spoke before I was risen from the dead?
No, I mean, look, I don't know.
I have eaten all the Cheetos. I am on a diet. This is ridiculous.
It's just, you kind of weren't really pulling your weight in that last battle, man. I mean, I don't even know what it is you do with your little plunky plunk with the loot.
He's a good supporter of the thing. I just listen. I forgot.
I'm sorry. I didn't know this was IBM D&D. I didn't know I needed to tell you my quarterly earnings. Is this what do I have? I'm just playing.
Hey, listen, Steve the Bard.
Don't call me by my character. What are you doing?
Well, listen. If you would just learn a couple John Cougar Mellencamp songs, maybe we would revive you faster.
That would be helpful.
I don't like him because of his association with the Real Housewives. A joke that no one who would have heard this conversation, if they were listening to a conversation about D&D, would understand that joke.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, because I know what I do, right? Like, I swing the sword and I make the goblins go dead, right?
Yeah.
And Andor, he make the spells go fly, and heals you when you're on the ground. Yeah. I don't really know what you do. Like,
could you have done any of that if Hot Cross Buns wasn't playing?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
That's such bullshit. That's such bullshit. You couldn't do that if I wasn't playing Hot Cross Buns.
Yeah.
On a recorder, or a lute, as it would have been called at the time, if that's what a lute is.
I feel that I could have swung my swords better if Hot Cross Buns was not playing during that time.
I don't know. I mean, it has a good rhythm to it.
Thank you.
It has a good rhythm.
Thank you.
You know,
I just find it highly distracting.
I mean, listen, listen. It's my fault. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to play the game. You gotta.
No, Justin, you're fine. You're fine. Okay.
I don't know about that.
It's Mike. It's Mike. Okay.
I mean,
like I didn't want to say it out loud, but it's been Mike the whole time.
When I was dead, I wasn't actually dead. I heard you guys talking shit about me.
I didn't do any of that.
I heard you guys talking shit about me the whole time.
I was talking shit about John Cougar Mellencamp. Have you heard Small Town? He just says the word small town over and over again.
I have said this story 1,000 times. This is why
about John Cougar Mellencamp.
Please, just the story I'm going to tell. Please just let me say it
about
again,
John Cougar Mellencamp. Right.
Tolerate. It's not about that. I only told you that story in confidence. First of all,
it's a song about how he is. This the story about how he became the cougar?
I have heard the story of the song Rock the Casbah, and as far as I'm concerned, that ended the Gulf War, and so I felt as though I was going to base my character, Steve, on the guy who wrote that song, Rock the Casbah, who may or may not be named Steve, and I thought that would help.
Yeah. I became a cleric because we keep watching Grey's Anatomy through the window over there, so, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, that's
listen
fair.
to this spell. Okay, listen to this spell. This is a bard cantrip. Okay, I get to use this every battle. Yeah. Okay, give you +1 or -1 depending on success to melee-based attacks using elven weapons. Come on, that is so fucking useful.
Right. That is, I mean, yeah.
How would you fight without that?
Yeah. Okay. Let's try that real quick. Go ahead and cast that on me.
Well, he only has so many spell slots, Julian. Is it a cantrip?
It's a cantrip.
You guys don't listen to me.
I don't know how to play the game. I'm asking. I'm learning about things.
Listen, I just cast it -1.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's usually what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just move on.
What about oboe stab?
Oh, that's pretty good. That sounds useful.
With an oboe.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Oboe will fuck you up,
dude. Yeah.
All right. You know what?
Heavy.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. Thank you. Don't leave me dead the whole time again.
No, that's on me. I should have asked earlier.
I've eaten 9 bags of Cheetos. I'm not going to be able to play the rest of the game because I'm going to be shitting my pants out.
Are they the little bags?
I've lost, like, you understand when you're bored, like, you just keep eating?
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt myself do this, like the we put your thumbs. I felt myself do that 9 times. I don't know if they're Cheetos.
They're probably.
I opened 9 bags of something, and since this is your house, Justin, I'm a little concerned that you don't know what type of bag of Cheetos this is.
Yeah, no, I am too.
What did I eat?
I because all I bought recently was rice cakes. So I don't know what.
Can't be that.
Yeah,
can't be that. I would have vomited because they're disgusting.
I don't know. I mean, they're pretty good. You ever had?
Yeah. I like them. It's like eating dry wood.
Yeah,
guys, can we loot these goddamn goblins and move on?
I'm not touching them.
Ooh, gotta say, as a musician, I have to earn it. When you see the Southern Cross, everyone sing on. When you see, sing on. When you see the Southern Cross.
I was born in a small town.
For the first time.
Something, small town.
A
small town.
I'm gonna roll my busking skill.
Wrote that song.
I'm gonna roll my busking skill. I did fail, so it's gonna keep singing. A new
okay,
song.
all right. More John Cougar. Hurt so good. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good.
Okay, and then we have another one. Actually, let me do another block. These are some more of the ads that Justin came up with for that radio episode. They're short and sweet, and they're really funny. So, and I don't really have much to say about them other than I just really love them. I think they're really dumb and fun. So we have the ad for Booty Law Firm, the ad for Bread University, and then last but not least, Ross's Applesauce Ranch. I just love all of these, and I think they're great, and I want Justin to do more shit like this.
Have you or someone you know been injured by sentient go-karts? You could be entitled to a large cash settlement. Sentient go-karts have terrorized people for at least 3 months, and Big Go-Kart has done nothing to stop them. Put an end to their reign of terror. Put money in your pocket. Call the law offices of Booty and Baby today at 555, obviously not real number. That's 555, obviously not real number, and help hit the brakes on Big Go-Kart. Are you looking for a university with your best interests in mind? One that'll put you in a career you'll love with a salary you can raise a family on? Well, that's stupid, and you're stupid for wanting it. At Bread University, we'll ask for all your money up front and then teach you everything we know about bread. What do we know about bread? Enough. With a degree from Bread University, jobs will laugh at you after you apply to them, but you'll know more about bread than they do, and in the end, isn't that what really matters? Bread University. Open enrollment starts when you fall for this scam. Have you been looking for the state's top applesauce ranch? Well, look no further. Located conveniently in one place we will read too fast for you to remember, Ross's Applesauce Ranch is the #1 applesauce ranch in not only our state, but in 3 states. Ross's Applesauce Ranch raises all its applesauce ethically and tells them stories about dragons, ensuring that when you take your applesauce home, it not only tastes good, it's well educated. So stop on into Ross's Applesauce Ranch today and tell them Chris sent you.
All right, and then next up, I was talking to my friend Blissy on Skype, and she talked about like a substitute teacher that was, it was something involving like her daughter or something like that. But, she referred to the substitute as a sub. And I had to stop her right then. And then I had to like go to my notes because it was just very funny to me that like the term sub can mean so many things in modern day language. And I even say it at the end of the trailer, but it was the genesis for my 50 Shades of Subway movie trailer, because I just thought the idea of a submissive substitute teacher ordering a Subway sandwich at Subway, a submarine sandwich at Subway, was just very funny and dumb, and also like that 50 Shades is just god awful, and anytime that I can make fun of it, I will.
Anastasia Silver is a substitute teacher who is hungry for a Subway sandwich. Little did she know that her life would change that day. I'd like a chicken teriyaki, please.
Christian Slate is a sandwich artist with very singular tastes. I have very singular tastes, Miss Silver. I will tell you how you want your sandwich.
How did you know my name?
Shh. Here's your sandwich. It's the erotic tale that has middle-aged housewives all across America slightly flustered.
I just never knew how freeing it could be to just let the sandwich artist take over like that. It was intense.
See the movie, based on the books, based on the fan fiction, based on some other books that dare to ask what happens when a submissive substitute teacher goes to Subway for lunch. 50 Shades of Subway, coming soon to a theater near you.
And then speaking of movie trailers, I had to make a trailer for Ashley Chang, Millennial Cop. And now this is not a thing that came up on the Stage Select, but if any of you have ever watched Justin's Twitch streams, a recurring character in the sim games that he plays is Ashley Chang, Millennial Cop. And I had recently seen like some like, you know, YouTube shorts and stuff like that about millennial cringe, which I was not very familiar with. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is the stuff that like Generation Z makes fun of millennials for. It's like, I kind of get it. And I was like, I can run with that. And so I just kind of created like a generic cop dramedy with like a lot of cliches but that also has a lot of millennial cringe in it. And I think it came out, honestly, this isn't one of my favorites. It's not. But it is something that I did, and I would be remiss if I didn't include it in this special.
Ashley Chang is a cop on the mean streets of Brighton.
Freeze, dirtbag.
She grew up idolizing John McClane, Dirty Harry, and Martin Riggs.
I grew up idolizing John McClane, Dirty Harry, and Martin Riggs. But being a cop isn't as cool as I thought it would be.
Ashley's learning the hard way that being a millennial cop has its own set of challenges.
That's my switchblade, man.
I just can't with you today.
We're assigning you to the K9 unit, Chang.
I'm getting a pupper? Adulting is hard. Don't even talk to me until I've had my coffee.
Don't worry. Stuff happens in this movie, we swear.
Irma Gerd, what a good doggo.
Ashley Chang, Millennial Cop. It's a cop movie for a different generation.
Hey, man, can I get a ride? I walked here.
This next one is an idea that I don't know if it necessarily landed, and I haven't done it since, because I plan on doing more of these, but I liked the idea of having video game ASMR. I don't really mess with ASMR. I know it's popular with a lot of people. I like to make fun of it, not because I think it's like dumb. I just kind of like to spoof it. And I thought it'd be really funny to have like a person doing ASMR for video games, but then being extremely loud with the actual video game part of said ASMR. So I have the ASMR for Ryu from Street Fighter, which it is what it is. You know, again, I don't know that it necessarily landed the way that I wanted it to, which is why I haven't tried to take another stab at it as of yet. But maybe if I get a good idea for it, I'll bring it back.
Hello there. It's Catboy1269 coming at you with some more ASMR. As you all know, ASMR is a passion of mine, and I really enjoy sharing it with all of you, and I hope that it brings you the same peace of mind and calmness that it does for me. Today I have some video game related ASMR, because video games are the second thing that I love even more than ASMR. So I thought it would be really fun to combine the two. So today I have some ASMR in the vein of Street Fighter 2 from the arcades in 1992. First, I wanted to recount one of my favorite characters, one of the most beloved characters from Street Fighter 2, Ryu. He's basically the main character of the whole series, and he was one of the first characters I ever used. So I wanted to do some ASMR in tribute to Ryu. I hope you enjoy.
Hadouken! Shoryuken! Sexapulsa!
This has been Video Game ASMR. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back at you soon with another ASMR video. Thanks.
And then I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, at least in passing, our attempt at doing a video game presidential campaign. At the time, I thought it would be funny to do like a thing where we have video game characters running for president. And I thought it would be funny that like the Republican characters are only concerned with like their own fantasy worlds, like that they exist in, where the Democrat characters would be more interested in running on platforms to improve the video game industry. Like that would be the thing. And then I decided that it was probably not in the best taste, especially with the way things started to go middle of the year. And now that things have shaken out the way that they did, I think it was probably the right call to pull the plug on it. But having said that, I did want to run a couple of my favorite ads. I think I'm just going to do two here. The first one is Joel running as a Republican. Joel from The Last of Us, obviously. I think I liked my script here because the idea of, Joel wanting to make it easier to commit revenge murder, I think is very apropos of that franchise. And then Mike Fallick returning to do the Mario ad, also running as a Republican. The Republican ads were more fun to do, honestly, because I think the concept was so dumb to me. And it was a script that I wrote for Mike, and then he did it, and he did it exactly how I wanted it, and it came out great. So that's all I'm going to say about the failed video game presidential campaign. But there you go.
Hi, y'all. My name's Joel, and I'm seeking the Republican nomination. Let me tell you a story. Someone's wronged you, and you justifiably want to murder them. But before you can do that, you're going to have to spend hours sneaking around their camp, killing all their friends before you can get justice for yourself. That's a lot of work. And then you have to be prepared for one of those people's friends coming after you for revenge. If elected, I'll make revenge murder easier. No more skulking about, no more having to kill people you don't need to, even if it's a hell of a lot of fun. Vote Joel for a return to simpler revenge times.
It's me, Mario. I am Mario. How you going? Look, I'm running for Republican presidential nomination. Maybe anything like me. You're tired of your princess getting kidnapped by an asshole? Turtle. You vote for Mario, and I'll make sure to put a stop to princess kidnapping. No more traversing or lava pits. Just to hear, oh, she's in that, where is she at? In that castle? Fuck it. Bullshit. And then you do find her, and it's, let me just say, she's going in some pipes with somebody else. Not too crazy about leaving. Okay. Oh, let me get my stuff. Oh no, hold on. Oh, this is a good episode. You saved friends. You're here to stay. You gotta. Anyway, nobody should have to deal with that. No man, especially. No man, and that's what I'm talking to. I deal with that 15 fucking times. I know where you're at, boys. So vote for Mario, capisci? Okay. Why don't you?
Okay, look, sometimes the ideas aren't great, guys. Sometimes they're extremely on the nose. Like making a commercial for a soap opera about soap called Days of Our Suds. I'm not proud of it. You're not proud of it. But here it is.
This week on Days of Our Suds, Hector and Amelia get hot and heavy. Samantha wakes up from her coma, only to find her twin sister has taken over her life. Isaiah and William butt heads over Chloe. All this and more on the realest soap opera on daytime TV, Days of Our Suds.
And then for something slightly better, I think I had the idea. I was thinking about like old like 900 number ads from that you would see like late at night in the 90s, like especially if you were a degenerate like me watching Rhonda Shear on USA up all night. But I thought it would be really funny to do like a modern take on that. And I was like, what is a fantasy? Like if people were still calling 900 lines, like what's a fantasy that you would even have these days? And I was like, what about just like talking to somebody that owns a home and them telling you about what it's like to own a home because you'll never have the opportunity. And that was very funny to me. And I did my best to trying to emulate like the old like pick up the phone, like those ads. You know the ones. If you're of a certain age, you know the ones. And I think this one came out all right. I'm kind of indifferent on it, but sometimes it makes me smile.
Pick up the phone. Hey there, handsome. We know what your biggest fantasy is. Call 1-900-909-HOME and speak with successful professionals who can tell you what it's like to own a house. Pick up the phone. Because if you were born after 1980, the chances of you ever owning your own home are slim at best. So call 1-900-909-HOME and live vicariously through the dreams of others. $2 for the first minute, 45 cents for each additional minute. What are you waiting for? Call now.
All right, and we're getting to the end of this sucker. I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention Video Game Masterpiece Theater. I almost feel like that goes in a different bucket. The original idea for Video Game Masterpiece Theater is that I wanted Justin to take all the glory. My idea was like let him do the characters, be that Mitchell Mann or whoever. But then I playing myself, or just being myself, like just being Julian Titus, like being the other actor in the piece. But purposefully, but just doing like a really bad job, like just like no emotion whatsoever, just like terrible acting. Like that initially was supposed to be the fun of it. And then we kind of like we've kind of made it into something a little bit bigger there because we have like more characters to choose from and to draw from. But I think I'll run 2 of these. So I think the first one that I am going to run, I think I'll start with the Silent Hill 2 one. I thought this one was pretty fun. Kind of definitely a good example of like that early idea. And then I'll close it out with the Resident Evil one, because that one we had like different characters kind of interacting with each other, and I thought that was pretty fun.
And now, Video Game Masterpiece Theater with your host, Thaddeus Wimpleshire.
Good evening. My name is Thaddeus Wimpleshire. The distance between love and terror can sometimes be as thin as the bars on a jail cell. That is certainly the case for James Sunderland, protagonist of Silent Hill 2, released by Konami in 2001. Poor James lost his wife Mary years ago, and yet he cannot help but see the resemblance on the face of Maria as they flee from the denizens of the dark that inhabit Silent Hill. Performing this iconic exchange between James and Maria are none other than the incomparable Julian Titus and Mitchell Mann. Feel the tingle go up your spine as these titans of the theater recreate this scene as only they can.
James, honey, did something happen to you after we got separated in that long hallway? Are you confusing me with someone else? You were always so forgetful. Remember that time in that hotel?
Maria?
You said you took everything, but you forgot that videotape we made, didn't you? Oh, yeah. I wonder if it's still there.
How do you know about that? Aren't you Maria?
I'm not your Mary. Oh, no, not this. Oh, yeah.
So, you're Maria?
I am, if you want me to be. Oh, yeah.
All I want from you is an answer.
It doesn't matter who I am. I'm here for you, James. You see, I'm real. I'm as real as it gets, and I'll hit you in the mouth. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
This has been another installment of Video Game Masterpiece Theater with your host, Thaddeus Whippleshire. And now, Video Game Masterpiece Theater with your host, Thaddeus Whippleshire. Good evening. I am Thaddeus Whippleshire. What happens when a group of highly trained officers end up in a nightmare scenario? That's the predicament that Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, and Albert Wesker find themselves in when they take refuge inside the Spencer Mansion. From the original Resident Evil released in 1996, thrill to this tense exchange between the STARS officers before the true terror begins. This scene stars Julian Titus as Chris Redfield and features the debut of two incredible talents, Morgan as Jill Valentine, and Abramo as Albert Wesker. I don't know what happened. Barry. Where's Barry?
Oh, hey, well, I'm sorry, but he's probably...
No. What is that? I'll go and check.
Okay, man, Jill and I will stay in the hall, okay? And in case of, like, an emergency?
Chris, take care. This has been another installment of Video Game Masterpiece Theater with your host, Thaddeus Whippleshire. Okay, and we are almost done with this look back at the bits of the first season of the Stage Select. Next up, I have my sequel to the Duke Nukem trailer. This was the one to run during the E Summer Game Awards Fest 3. I think that's what we called it. But this was actually more of Justin's idea, like the actual, the other side of a midlife crisis, where Duke is just kind of like doing anything that he can to try to feel young again. And I think this one came out really good as well.
Duke Nukem is back, like you've never seen him before, having a midlife crisis. This Bugatti is my entire personality now. See one of the greatest gaming icons tackle his greatest challenge yet. Dating over the age of 30. So I swipe right on every girl, right? I've swiped right on like 1,000 girls and not a single match. It's the most real game ever made. Sheila, I just need to tell our son how I feel. Fuck you, Duke. Duke Nukem versus middle age. Coming soon. Viagra kicks ass.
And then closing this out, kind of a weird way to go out, but it, oh no, actually I've got one more before, after that. So, getting to the end, close to the end is, the ad that I did for our Halloween episode, for the Lakeside Amusement Park, which is the actual name of the amusement park from Silent Hill 3. Robbie the Rabbit, rather, is also the mascot from Silent Hill 3. So it is very much in that universe. And I had a lot of fun making this one. I looked into like really like drilling down on how to like do a lot of like processing to my voice to make different effects and stuff like that, and really trying to make it sound as fucked up as I could. It's very much inspired by the elevator quiz part of Silent Hill 2, where it's just like so off-putting and bizarre and unhinged. And I think I did a pretty good job with this one. I know Rob really liked it. I sent it to him after he guested on the show, and he thought it was fantastic.
Visiting scenic Silent Hill? Well, bring the whole family to the Lakeside Amusement Park. We guarantee that it's fun for all ages.
Hi, I'm Robbie the Rabbit. Come on down and take a spin on the merry-go-round, catch the view from our huge Ferris wheel, and play all sorts of neat arcade games.
Lakeside Amusement Park. So much fun. You'll never want to leave.
We'll make sure of it.
And then the last bit that I'm going to end this on is another piece that we did on that Nerds Without Pants radio episode, which is our morning show ad. Now, that original version that aired on Nerds Without Pants actually had Back in Black by AC/DC running in the background, but obviously I had to take that out. And I did find something that I think gets the same feeling across. Like, obviously the point here is to sound like a really dumb, morning zoo crew type of shtick. And I think the fun behind the scenes for this one is similar to what John gave me for the People's Champions Court. I had just told Justin I had this idea for like an ad for a radio show, for a morning show. And I said, just give me stuff. Just give me random shit. And he gave me the most random shit that you can imagine because it's Justin. And then I worked around that, and I think I ended up coming up with like a really fun thing that sounds like if Justin was going to be the second man on a morning radio show. But I'm going to end with that and also end this episode. Thank you all for hanging out, and hopefully this gives you a little more insight on the dumb, it's like, I don't even, like how the thought process works, and maybe like for the couple of you who actually like this shit, like now you kind of have it all consolidated in one handy episode. For others, maybe you just skipped it, and that's fine. And then maybe for some of you who are kind of more on the fence on this part of the show, maybe this gives you a better inkling of why it's there and how it came to be. But I'm going to run this last bit and then close it out. So thank you all, and we will see you when we're back from hiatus. Bye.
It's J&J in the morning with Jules and Justin. And that was the second time I got crabs.
How much butterscotch is in this trash can?
No, that's insane. You're insane.
Keep your morning drive crazy.
Buckle up, Kathy. There's a storm coming.
My wife handed me a warm Coke. Warm Coke. It's just the most disgusting thing. I can't believe that she actually would do that.
I'll drink a warm Coke. I don't care.
You're on the air caller. What's the craziest thing your boyfriend's ever made you do?
So like this one time, this guy poured strawberry milk all over my body.
Oh, that's disgusting.
What's with all this negativity about strawberry milk?
Yeah, and then he licked it off of my feet.
You licked it off your feet?
Don't you touch my feet.
J&J in the morning, 6 to 10, Monday through Friday.
Throw your purse in the trash. It's time for jelly beans.